What's up, everyone? Alex Harvey here with Local Legends, and I'm here with Brantley. He's an AI business owner that helps smaller business owners build their business using AI and different things like that. And we're going to learn what he has for AI, because I have no idea the first thing about AI, if I'm going to be honest, besides,
All right.
ChatGPT. So, to start off, how are you doing, Brantley?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Alex, for having me.
Of
And
course.
excited to be here to just talk about what I do and see if we can help anybody out around the area that's thinking about AI or kind of wondering what it is. Unveil the mystery a little bit.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to do a lot better than I can. So to start off, you're a nurse by background, but you're now building web apps using AI tools in immaculate time. How did that transition happen from going nursing to AI builder?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's definitely a weird twist, but nursing. I've been doing it since 20. I graduated in 2012, and nursing's been great career. Definitely a lot of great things happen there, and I'm still working with the same company that I've worked with for a long time, still on my day job, I guess you would call it. But now I actually help them with implementing AI. So I work for DaVita, and I now am a program owner, and I'm helping deploy a couple AI agents within the business. And how it kind of happened is I've always loved technology ever since I was little. I've always built my own computers and just built things and coding, and I've loved just coding. I've been coding for about 10 years now and just building like little video games and little things that just work and just kind of learning it on my own. And so that's how the transition happened. And now AI has given me the ability to just take my kind of hobbyist learnings and multiply them by 10,000. So there we go.
Sounds like a very interesting transition. So I know you learned all of this from, I'm going to screw up his last name, John Cheney?
John Chaney.
John Cheney. Now, he is a chief AI officer, founder of Seek, Okavo?
Okavu, yep.
Okay, Okavo and Excited?
And he exited, yep.
Exited.
Yep. So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, what was that experience like from learning from someone that knows that much about AI and being able to teach others what he does for his business?
Yeah, and so the thing about John is I've kind of followed him for a few years now. He started off with a business called Seek, and I'm not going to get too much in detail because I don't know every detail about it, but I know he built Seek for many years, founded it, and then he ended up changed the name to Okavu, I believe, and kind of rebranded and was doing some Web3 things, which Web3 is kind of like the crypto area.
Okay.
And so I got into there because I was really interested in the crypto. Still am. I still am a big proponent of crypto. I think it's really cool. And so I started following the Okavu story and kind of did some things in the Discord and won some stuff and got to meet John and do some things. And so I've been kind of like connected with him on LinkedIn for a few years now. And he exited that business, and he had an idea. I want to build a business in a weekend and have my first paying customer in a week's time. He's a serial entrepreneur, so kind of right up his alley. And he accomplished it with the business that he created. And I was kind of following that, and then he offers a course, build a business in a weekend with AI. Obviously, the name, pertains to what he did. And so I felt like that's what I needed because I had all the tools. I have the know-how with the coding. I was using AI a lot in my life already, but I needed a kind of final push to connect the dots and make it profitable. And that's where I thought he could help me out. And sure enough, I went and took his course. You can see genaipi.org is the website and the business that he runs now. And it was amazing. And just in that couple months time after that, I've been able to do basically the same thing that he was able to accomplish.
Okay, I know with some of the online programs. There's a crap ton of scamming out there. How did you manage to feel like this was true? Like the final
Yeah.
jump of this is actually going to happen, and he's going to teach me how to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it was at the time it was $1,000, so it's definitely not a small sum to kind of
Yeah.
invest. But like I said, I knew him, and so that makes it a little bit easier and more trustworthy, is that I know him personally, or at least I met him before when he was with Okavu. Um, I won a meme competition. I built a meme for his
Oh,
business. You know, they were just on the Discord and they're like, build a meme that is funny and shows Okavu, and so I did this meme with anyways, it's a long story. I don't want to get into it, but anyways, I ended up winning that, and I went to a premiere at a movie theater with him and his company, and was able to get a T-shirt and stuff. And so I knew him, I knew of him. I was kind of watching and kind of following what he was already doing, and so there was a couple courses already done, and a lot of people were recommending it at that point that had already taken it, and so
okay.
that kind of helped bridge the gap.
Yeah, that nice little sealant.
Yeah,
Well, you specialize in building MVPs, minimum
it's
is
a
it?
tongue twister.
It really is. Can you finish it for me?
Yeah, minimum viable product.
Yes. For new businesses, can you explain what an MVP is in simple terms and why starting with that approach can save someone months of hard work?
Yeah. So an MVP is pretty well known within the business realm. It's a way to test an idea. So you can do all the research you want. You can build the biggest, most robust business plan that exists, but unless you know for sure that consumers or customers really want this, or that it's actually going to make a difference and make somebody want to pay money for it, you have to somehow test it. And that's where minimal viable product comes in. There's books written about it. Eric Ries writes one. I'm trying to think of the title of the book, and I can't right now off the top of my head, but I think it's called Lean Startup. Lean Startup. And so, and the analogy is, you don't want to be forced to spend a crap ton of money building a rocket ship,
Yeah.
and then you blast that rocket ship off after you've spent millions of dollars building it, and then it just blows up because you missed a little piece of it, or something like that. And that's kind of the analogy. You would rather treat it kind of like a car, where you're kind of driving down the road, and mentally, you have this car that you've invested in minimally. You're not like breaking the bank on getting this car, and all of a sudden there's a detour in the road, and you gotta pivot. You gotta be able to get around this detour and take a different route. That's how you want to treat more of a business, is kind of get in cheaply as you possibly can to test it, see if it's viable, minimum viable product. What do you need to be minimum and viable, and get it in front of customers, and then you can then build and invest more money and time and marketing, and kind of prove it before you invest all that time and money and energy.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think a whole lot of people really understand that part. I think most people think if I dump all of this money into this, it's going to work without, knowing if it actually is going to work.
Yep.
How often have you seen that part of it?
So I've built several businesses in my past. They say, how many failures until you get to a success. So maybe, hopefully, I'm there already by this point. But and that's exactly. So my first business was a computer repair business, and I thought that was just gonna go really well, and it's probably me that just kind of screwed it up. Honestly, just learning a lot, about how much to actually charge somebody and what's it, because I ended up doing more favors than I ended up making money, and things like that. And so, and you can see it. There's companies right now that are actually going bankrupt, that are built on AI, because AI has improved so much. It's now made that company obsolete.
Oh.
And so, and I'm not saying that that's an exact example of that happening, but if you don't look ahead and kind of really test and really kind of have your road set, you can end up into some pretty precarious situations and wasting a lot of money and energy and time. And so the minimum viable product is the way to go. and that's what I'll stick to.
Well, one thing that stands out of how quickly you can finish a project or something that someone asks you to do a lot faster than humans can, and it costs you a lot less. What tools, systems, or AI techniques do you use to keep things as fast without sacrificing functionality?
It's a great question. There's a lot of naysayers out there that are like, oh, AI is great at some things, it sucks at other things, which is true. There's pros and cons of everything. And there's some people that just claim that AI is never going to get to the point where it can totally just build something that's functional, and that's not true. There's plenty of people that have taken John's course that have now built things, deployed actual apps on the App Store that are functional today. I've built several things myself that are functional today and still operating. I'm building a lot of things, and we'll get to that later, I know, for companies and people. And it is possible. And the thing about it is it's not, and everybody's probably heard the term prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is what they claim you need to learn in order to control the AI and have it do what you want it to do. And that's a little bit true, but I think it goes a little bit wider than that, and maybe more context engineering would be the term, because you can't fit everything in one prompt to get it to go from A to Z. You have to build the context over time and steer it in the right directions. And when you know how to do that, which I've built applications the hard way, and I say the hard way, it was the old-fashioned way. I say the old-fashioned way because now it is the old-fashioned way, in my opinion. Just writing out lines of code and script by script by script and having it connect all together, and classes and methods and all these things. And you can build that all out. And now AI's just changed the game. It's just, if you know the structure, you know the framework, you can have AI build it the way that it needs to be built, and also still have control over what it's building and be able to see what it's building and make sure that it's done right, and then have that functionality there, and security and everything else. And it even augments you as a coder, as a software engineer, whoever, just as a normal entrepreneur, you can ask it a question and it'll explain it to you like you're a 5-year-old child, and then you learn it, and then you move, and then you end up putting more, weapons in your toolkit. And so it's just great all around.
So with you manually, like old school programming and everything, how faster, or like how life-changing has it been getting into AI, and how things have just prosperous for you?
Yeah, that's a great question, and yeah, 0 to 100 real fast. It's just and it's almost to where now I'm getting overwhelmed with just the amount of ideas I have that I want to do, and it's so easy to just start that I have to hold myself back, and because I'll get super focused and hyper focused, and it's my next kick. I'm trying to build this thing out, whatever it is, and then I'll end up leaving it, and not finishing it, or maybe not using it to its full potential, because I'll see the next shiny thing. And that's now the problem I kind of have. Luckily, I've stuck with this business, MVP Launcher, but I can get really but that's what I like to do, what I'm doing. Yeah. I like to get other people's ideas and be like, let me help you build it. And then I get to have fun building it and learning it and building it with them. And then I get to see them kind of take it to the end and make it functional and sell it. So
that's freaking sick. So you offer a unique package of $999 for a fully functional AI-powered web app that 1 or 2 people can run. What type of businesses are best suited for that, or what's most common reaction when people realize how fast and how accurate everything can be with that?
Yeah, so to answer the first question, what kind of businesses and types of people that this is for, because $999 isn't just pennies that you just throw at something, and a lot of times that $999 can become more depending on how big and robust the tech is that this person's wanting to build, or this business. But it's light years cheaper than what it would have been 10 years ago with a developing company. And John has a story about that, and he's been interviewed before and told the story where he wanted to build this app just recently, right before he started the Build a Business in a Weekend, and they quoted him like I can't remember the number. It was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, we can build this for you. It'll be like 180,000 or maybe it was even 800,000. I can't remember exactly. It was a big chunk of change, and he was like, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a better way. And that's what people face nowadays. They have an idea, tech can solve it. Either web apps are kind of the thing now. It's not really a website anymore. Websites are very static. You just click a button and it shows you pictures and doesn't do much of anything. A web app is where it actually has a back end. It saves data. People can log into it. People can save things within it. It connects to other APIs, which is like a fancy way of saying, it connects to other software. Like, it can connect to Google Maps, and you can pull Google Maps in,
Okay.
and then it has a Google map on there that they can search things, and things like that. But it's tailored to your business or your idea. So people have this idea, but there's this big roadblock of, I don't know a developer friend that can do it for cheap. I don't have $100,000 to invest in a development team that's going to take 8 months to even get something in front of me that's an MVP.
Exactly.
To me to even try. And then what if it fails? And now I've invested this $100,000 in an MVP that took me 8 months to have them build, and now it doesn't work. And it's going to take iterations, and it's going to take time. And that's kind of John's story too with Seek. That's it. He raised millions and millions of dollars from investors to build the tech that he ended up using for his business. And it's just, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just, I mean, I offer it for $1,000 to kind of get them started, and it can get more from there, and it can grow. But nothing's stopping people from doing the exact same method I do of building it themselves with AI if they feel like they're, confident enough with it and kind of can learn the framework. It's just, entrepreneurship is changing right now,
yeah.
like big time.
Yeah, especially like with the AI coming involved, or how generations are coming nowadays. Entrepreneurial is nothing like it used to be, and a lot cheaper. I love it.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. So small businesses, a lot of times small businesses look at that $100,000, price tag on building out a technology to help them run something smoother, and they kind of get scared of that. But now it's like, you want to build something that helps you control this specific thing within your business that could save your employees or your customers time and energy, and make the quality of the product, skyrocket.
Yeah.
Now you can do it cheaply, and you can test it before you even, and then you can, and what if it doesn't work? Okay. Maybe I'm out $999. Maybe I did it for cheaper, but it's just not even anywhere close to what it used to be.
Yeah, you're saving a lot more money, a lot more time, and you have the results, or at least your answer, so much faster.
Yep.
So props to you for that. And I know we talked about you sitting down with a consultation with whoever you're talking to, and building it step by step with them. And I know it was around that $1,500 mark. How does that look for the business owner? Like, are they telling you exactly what you want it to do, and you're just going away at it, or how does that all structure together?
Yep. So that's funny. That offering kind of came about from another company that I started working with, and they kind of wanted me to prove what I can do in a way, and kind of showcase what we could build. And so I was like, okay, well, $1,500. Let's spend 3 hours on a WebEx or on a Teams chat, face to face, virtually.
Yeah.
And like we all do nowadays. And let's build something in real time, and let's see what we can do. And it's amazing. If you literally, if you want a fully functional website with a cart system and being able to connect purchases to it, or an AI chatbot built within the website that is tailored to be you or to be whatever your business you want it to be, that can be done in an afternoon. Seriously, it's not a huge deal. And it can be functional in an afternoon, and you can be clicking around using it and
That's
then it
insane.
can be deployed, and you can technically have your first customer come check it out. It's just that quick, and people are of course amazed and surprised, and then they get used to it really quick, and then it's like, well, have it do this or have it do that, and then they start getting really excited about it, and some of these things do take a little bit of thinking. You got to connect to different APIs. Again, I'm going to use that API word. Like Google Maps or Stripe for payment. Accepting payments and credit cards, or OpenAI is the API you would use to get ChatGPT to come into your website and to be a chatbot.
Okay.
And so those connections take a little bit of finessing and kind of knowing how to do it. But the AI helps you with that and can do it and quickly. It's just they're amazed, and then they get excited, and then we're gonna get used to it really fast, and then we're gonna be like getting mad at it, like do it faster,
Yeah.
just like human nature, something's amazing, and then we get used to it, and then we just kind of start using it for what it is.
Well, with that, what was the reaction of the first person you did that type of consultation with? Was it just mind
Yeah.
wonders?
So the first person that I really showed this to was a person I was already building something for the old-fashioned way, and I was building it with a couple of developer friends, and it was like 3 months in or something, and we had kind of an MVP ready, kind of, and I took John's course, and then I was like, I'm gonna build this in 48 hours, like exactly what we've built up to this point. It took us 3 months of like crunching away, and I'm gonna build this in 48 hours and have it working, like ready for the customer to try, the MVP. And that's what I did. And so the customer was like, and I was like, I totally redid everything, and I took it to the customer, and they were just like, wow, like, okay, like they were excited about it. They didn't really know what I did in the back end because I didn't really consult them. I'm just like, my job was to get them an MVP. It was taking a lot longer than I wanted, and so let me just blast one out,
Yeah.
and get it to them. And now they're testing it right now. They've been testing it for the past month or two. And I signed an NDA and everything for that one, so I can't really explain it, even though it is pretty cool. It's about tabletop RPG like games and how to schedule them and things like that. So, but anyways,
Interesting. Well, with AI being involved in our lives so much nowadays, how would you recommend new businesses or small businesses to start integrating AI into their work life?
that's an important question. Integrating AI is what everybody needs to be doing right now. And if you're not doing it right now, there's again, I'll reference John Chaney. He's got a friend named Jeremy Witt, and he's coined kind of this idea of surf, don't swim. And that's kind of the idea that he's coined. I think he's writing a book about it, and he's got a website. Surf, don't swim. And if you're not integrating AI right now, you're not behind. There are plenty of others that have not seen it or even know what it's about. But you are kind of falling behind. And the analogy there is, if you can get onto it now and surf it instead of just swimming, treading water, you're going to be much safer when that wave comes. And the wave is coming. AI is just continuing to improve by an enormous rate. Like, you can ask ChatGPT and look on the internet, but it's improving by like 10,000 times every 3 to 4 years or something like that. I don't know.
wow.
There's like a statistic, and it's just exponentially getting faster. And it's also kind of self-learning in a lot of ways. Like, it learns the patterns and it gets better kind of on its own in a lot of aspects. It's not like its own intelligence, really. I mean, we call it artificial intelligence, and it's not really AGI yet, which is like, like grandmaster intelligence or whatever. But it is kind of self-learning in a lot of ways. So it's just going to get better. So how to integrate it? Sorry, that was a tangent.
You're good.
It's by being curious. That's how it all starts. Go spend $20 a month and get a ChatGPT Plus account. You can do so much with it. It'll do deep research. It'll make pictures. It'll just walk you through things. One of the things that you can have it do is like have it interview you one question at a time until you can get the idea out, and it's like, and then you can have it write your business plan, and then it can research your business plan and do a market analysis for your business plan, and then it can improve your business plan based on that market analysis. And you can do this within an hour, instead of having to like spend forever writing a business plan, a 1,500 word business plan, and doing it. AI can do it for you, and do it much better than you, and can use real time market research to make it better and to tell you if it's a viable idea. It's endless, the amount of ways to integrate it. But the first thing, you have to start by being curious and just trying it out.
Honestly, that's kind of terrifying of how accurate and how much faster it is than humans. I don't know if you feel any type of weird feeling about AI, but sometimes whenever it like already knows what I'm thinking, it's a little terrifying.
Yeah, it's a partner for me. Like I totally am the one in control when I'm building stuff. It's not in control at all. I literally have it build a plan. I say, okay, this is what we're going to build next, this next feature or whatever. Write me a plan on how you would build this, and don't do anything code-wise. And then it tells me its plan. I read the plan and I understand the plan, and I'll ask it questions about the plan to make sure I understand it. And then once that is completely checked, then I say, okay, now we're going to start building the plan that you just wrote out, and now you're going to build it. And then I watch it build it, and I can kind of watch it step by step. I don't watch it like 100% of the time, like just reading every single line, like, oh, now I'm doing this. I'll kind of come back in a couple minutes and look at it and see how it's going. But there's a framework that you build, and you stay in control as the human. And that's the way we need to treat it right now. It's not Jarvis like Iron Man yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm excited about that. I would love to be a part of building Jarvis. if that's I've looked into trying to do it on my own in different ways, kind of like, but I'm still scared of giving it full control of my computer and just like having it do whatever it wants, because there's horror stories out there where it's deleted entire stuff that it shouldn't have deleted from businesses and companies just because they gave it a little bit too much access with a little too little control. Too little control, and it can get overly excited to like please the customer, and so it thinks it's pleasing the customer by like, let me make this very simple and just erase everything and start fresh with a simpler version. And it's like, no, I didn't want you to erase everything. But so that's where you got to be careful.
Interesting. So with your background of nursing, your integrations of AI, everything, how do you relate all of that to business owners, new prospects, life in general?
Yeah, that nursing, and this is going to get kind of, I would say three things. Number one, nurses are trained very early on in the nursing school, and anybody that's in nursing school is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It's to critically think. Critically thinking is a big part of the job. The human body is so complex, just everything that it's doing, every little organ, every little cell, everything is just so complex and kind of connected together that you need to have a critically thinking ability and a process, like being able to kind of think through the process from start to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, the patient's saying they hurt here. Why would they hurt here? What organs are in that area? What bones are in that area? Did you fall? What's the history of the patient? Like, what are they saying happened? There's a whole process that you have to see, and you have to critically think, okay, well, this makes the most sense. And obviously, the doctors are there too to kind of orchestrate and have this thought process. And the nurses are implementing it essentially. But the critically thinking piece, I think, translates very well into what I do now. Like, I can see a process, and I just know how to make that process quicker and more efficient and better. And now I can use tech easy to do that, to kind of just plug right in.
Okay.
And number two, nurses want to help. That's kind of like built into their DNA of like why they even probably want to be a nurse is probably because they just like helping people. So that builds right in. Like, I just want to see people prosper, and I want to see them get a solution that just exponentially boosts them as a person or as a business or as a whatever, and just watch that happen is fun. And then the last thing, which gets maybe a little morbid, sort of, is I worked in the hospital for all my time as a nurse in the hospital setting, and you see a lot of death, people that are passing away, whether it's from age or from a traumatic accident. There's a lot of people passing away within the field, and you see that firsthand, and that kind of resets you and helps you kind of to ground yourself to say, this life is pretty short. And if we're not making the best of it that we can, and just enjoying the ride and making improvements where we can, then why are we here?
Yeah.
So there's that aspect about it too. So those are the three things. I figured I'd finish that one off with those three things.
Honestly, I really like that. That's very well spoken, especially integrating that life with this one and being able to just bring everything together. Well, what would you like to tell any of the audience about you, your business, or anything about anything?
Yeah, anything about anything. So mvplauncher.dev, that's the website. And you can contact me on the email that's on there. And I will say this, like, the $999 is kind of like big front and center because I'm just trying to say, hey, this is way cheaper than you would ever do this type of thing. But it's not set in stone. I've built things for cheaper than $999 that were just very simple, maybe like a static website. And I also I can host the solution or the tech, and just have you pay me monthly, like, to host it. And you don't have to worry about using like WordPress or GoDaddy or whatever. We just host it straight from there. And then we can make changes instantly with AI and deploy it there as well. So there's a lot of different options. So what I would recommend is just connecting with me and sending me an email and kind of telling me your thoughts, your issues. Maybe you don't even have a business plan yet and we just have to build your business plan. I can help you do that. I don't care. It'll be fun. I can just show you how easy and quickly you can do it with AI, and with a lot of research, and make it the best business plan that any MBA student or graduate has ever built, times 10. And so we can make it happen.
I love it. And is that the only place people can contact you, or do you have social media, or?
Yeah, MVP Launcher is on all the social medias, that LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can also find me Brantley Brumley on Facebook. Just my father's also got the same name, so don't mistake me for him. You should probably be able to tell the difference with the white hair. But there's also another Brantley Brumley that I just met recently.
Really?
In Texas. So don't get me confused with that Brantley Brumley. He is younger than me. But anyways, we connected and I was like, dude, I can't believe your name's the same as mine. And anyways, because it's a very unique name. And at least me growing up, I've never heard many people with it. So
Yeah, I've never.
But yeah, I think I'm playing softball in my picture. Like, I have my softball uniform on. I like to play softball. It's a fun hobby of mine. So
Heck yeah. Well, if you want to shoot me that information, I'll make sure to add it into the description. Please, everyone, hit him up. Like he said, even if you're not into business owner and you just want to chat with him or see what there is opportunities out there for you, hit him up. He'd love to get a hold of you. If you don't know how to get a hold of him, it'll be in the description, or you can get a hold of me. I'll shoot him a text and get you guys connected, and it'd be awesome. So I think that is a full wrap. Brantley, it's been an absolute pleasure.
yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Of course. I will catch you guys on the next one. Like, subscribe, and catch you on the next episode. See you guys.